Hello, everybody. How are you today? Today, I am here to talk about a really important topic. Although every time I pop in here, I do think the topics are super important. So feel free if you catch me live to post any comments as we're going through, and I'll do my very best to check the comments. And if you're on replay, as always, hashtag replay. And I would love to hear your thoughts and comments and follow-up questions on the content that I'll be sharing today. So, as you know, it is Wednesday. It is Intuitive Eating Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, I really do like to focus on all things intuitive eating. We are here in this Facebook group to all really put dieting behind, for everybody to put dieting behind us as we learn to cultivate a new, healthier, trusting relationship with food and our bodies. And I think the key word here is trust. Now, I posted a question earlier today. When you first decided to begin this wonderful intuitive eating journey, what was a priority for you? To stop the dieting, to learn to trust yourself with food? Some people mentioned they didn't even think about the concept of trust at first. It was really about just getting off of this dieting cycle, the obsession around food. But something for you to give some thought to is that all your years of dieting has really stripped you of trust, really trusting in food, the choices that you make, trusting in your body. And the idea through this concept of really learning to become an intuitive eater again is to help you come back to a place of trust. And so probably at the first thing on your mind was, I gotta stop this dieting and this cycle that is so harmful. And then as you went along through the process, you were thinking, like, how do I really come to a place of being at peace with food, trusting myself with food, trusting my body, and really having eating be a non-issue, having eating be easy, enjoyable, and nourishing to your body and your mind. Because here's the thing, right? Like, if you're thinking that without the diets, your eating wouldn't be nourishing, I'm here to tell you that is not what happens at all. A lot of people have that misconception that if I, quote unquote, do intuitive eating, I'll just eat what I want all the time, and I'll just be eating croissants and donuts and ice cream. And while those foods are absolutely foods that you for sure can eat if you choose to, once you go through the process of making peace with foods, and you learn how to attune to your body and what it needs, you'll find that you will not eat those foods all the time, because they may not make you feel so great. But you totally will be able to have those foods whenever you do choose to have them, but it will be in a way that feels right for you. Now, I know that that might be hard to know and to understand and to kind of get right at the, out of the gate if you're new to this process. But again, we go back to trust. I recognize that trust might not be there for you, but I hold that belief for you that you can trust, and I will hold space for you until you come to that place of having that trust as well. And so the question that I would like to delve into today is, can eating be easy? Can eating be enjoyable without guilt? And can eating be nourishing? Here's the thing. Eating and easy for the chronic dieter typically don't go hand in hand. Would you agree to that? Eating is complicated, especially because there's so much information out there that what people tell me is that it's so overwhelming. What do I eat? What do I not eat? You've got the keto and the South Beach, and oh my gosh, there's so many. I don't even want to spend time talking about what all of them are, but just imagine them flying at you. I'll try this today, I'll try this tomorrow, I'll try this next week, and none of it works. So people say to me, it's really confusing, I don't even know what to eat anymore. So eating is complicated. And it's like meals are a battleground, right? Like the should I, shouldn't I's, have it, not have it. So the question I pose is, do you believe that eating can be easy, can be enjoyable, can be nourishing? So I'm here to tell you that it absolutely can. It absolutely can. So let's stop for a minute to consider how this is. When we get rid of rules around dieting, When we get rid of all those shoulds and shouldn'ts, and we really look at food from a neutral standpoint, all of a sudden, eating doesn't have to be that complicated. Food isn't that complicated. We're no longer giving food so much power. Remember, when you place rules on your food and restrictions and limits, you elevate those foods and they all of a sudden have all this power, this specialness. And so then if you have a trigger, an emotional trigger, or a situation that you're in that's triggering to you, a conversation or anything, and now you look to the food that's on that special list as a source of, I deserve it, or seeking comfort or the soothing power of that food, now what happens is all bets are off because you broke your rule, right? You had that food that was so special that had really like these restrictions around them, but you ended up having it, and now I might as well just have it, get rid of it. I know I can't have it again, and you continue in this destructive cycle. So if you are somebody that has rules, that's one of the things you want to consider. How have those rules served you long term? Most of the time, they haven't. If you're someone that is eating meals on the go, that's also not so enjoyable for you. Now, many times you'll say, no, but it's okay because if I'm eating on the go, then I'm not eating more than I've brought with me. But what happens when you start to settle in after you're running, you've put out all the fires you need to put out, all of a sudden, you're hungry. Or you're just looking for food because the hunger you're feeling may not be a physical hunger or biological hunger, but it's a psychological hunger because you did not have satisfaction from the food you ate because you were on the go. You might have been eating and you didn't even realize that you were eating. You're running out the door to get to an appointment, to get to work, to get to school, or whatever it is. You grab something on the way out the door, you eat it on the way. You don't even remember that you ate it. You're at your desk and you're eating through lunch. You're just grabbing that sandwich as you're eating. You're not even looking at the food. You're just taking a bite, putting it down, continuing on your computer, on your phone call. All of these things minimize the satisfaction and do not make for an enjoyable meal. And then you look for food later. And it is absolutely not nourishing. It is not nourishing to your body because when you're eating in that stressed, distracted, rushed state, you're not actually absorbing all the nutrients you think because your body is in this fight or flight. Run, fight or flight. When we're in fight or flight, we really don't need the digestion function as much as we need to fight or flee from danger, or in this case, busyness. So when you're eating your meals like that, rushed and on the go, or you're eating your meals with rules, you're going to have trouble attuning to hunger and fullness because there are all these external factors that are coming in to dictate your eating. Okay. So I shared earlier today how I used to do that. Be always honest and open with you. I used to never plan a lunch break because as someone in the service business, I needed to always be available for my clients. And that meant if they were available during lunch and they needed an appointment, then I took them. I did not necessarily keep my lunch break or even plan one for myself. I'll catch it when I can, which meant that I was often eating while I was working, eating while I was on the phone, eating while I was sending out emails and responses and such. And it was not very enjoyable, and I did not feel very good. And it was only when I finally decided to honor myself, my self-care, and put lunch in my schedule, did that all turn around. Now, there's another factor that I want to address here. And I asked the question, can eating be easy? Can it be enjoyable? Can it be nourishing? We touched on a bunch of factors thus far, but there's one more that I want to address, and that is feeling like you deserve to sit down and eat a meal. So many people have shared with me that they feel that putting food on a plate and actually sitting down to a meal is something they're not deserving of. Why? Because they feel their self-worth is tied to their number on their scale or their clothing size or the size of their body, and they should be eating less. They should be trying to lose weight, and so they're not entitled to actually sit down and eat an enjoyable meal. And if they actually do sit down and eat a meal and walk away and feel, that was delicious, and they enjoyed it, it always comes with guilt. So do you feel that way too? Do you tie your self-worth to eat a meal, enjoy a meal, to the size of your body? It's a question that I really would like you to think about, maybe even journal on. Because it's so important to understand that your self-worth is absolutely not determined by the size of your body or a number on a scale. But diet culture wants you to believe that it is. Truth be told, this is a topic for another live stream, and we absolutely will go there. But for now, what I really want to leave you with considering is, can eating be not complicated? Can food be easy? Can it be present in your life in a peaceful, enjoyable way where you are trusting in yourself and your ability to make choices for yourself that feel good in your body? The answer is yes. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. If you've committed to this intuitive eating journey, I promise you will get there. And if you haven't yet committed to this journey, ask yourself why. What is holding you back? What are your fears? What are your beliefs? Because more than likely, there are certain beliefs that you hold or fears that you have that might be keeping you on the dieting cycle. Even if you think you're no longer dieting, if you have rules and if your decisions around eating are made in order to shrink your body, or if meals are just full of anguish and it's complicated and it's hard and there's guilt, then I want you to consider what might be holding you back from really jumping into this journey. Because yes, you can trust yourself with food, you can be at peace with food, and eating can be easy, enjoyable, and nourishing to your body and your mind. I'd love to hear how this landed for you. Please post some comments below this video. Be sure to tag me, and I'll be happy to come back and have a conversation with you. And if you want to discuss this with me privately, by all means, just DM me, and we'll have a little chit-chat about it. All right? All right. I look forward to seeing and reading your comments. Until next time.